Welcome back to Exit 45 Restorations. We left off in the last video. We were messing around with the rear quarter, getting it ready for paint. That was a shorter video, just trying to get with you guys on Thanksgiving. But now we're gonna finish the job. So we got to get the other rear quarter. But we're gonna start at the top. We're gonna work our way down there. Got the engine bay, all those things to do. So let's get at it. All right, let's bring you in for a progress check. So I'll just show you the overall here. I got the roof done with the final, well, at least the first stage of sanding, and you can see them if you look, but not a lot. So you see over here, a little bit over there. I think that was about it. You got that one right there. And you got both of the sides came out really good. I didn't have any issues with them. So that just needs a little bit of extra love and care. And then I'm going to be able to get this wrapped up here. So all I have left as far as high build primer sanding goes is driver's side rear quarter. So let me get that done, and then I'll show you what I got there, and then I will make all these patches, bring them down, and we can get ready to spray some sealer primer on here and see what it looks like. All right, here we go. Sorry, I'll do it from over here. All right, so here's where we're at, guys. I got the rear quarter sanded down. No problems on the top side. Everything looked good up here. We do get some problems once we get down in here. So let's break them down. So we can see right here, got a little bit of a low there. Not quite able to get it out. It was close, but it fought me. And then down here, again, this is where I did all my welding, and I guess I'm not a very good judge as to, what the high build will get out at this point. I'm getting better at it. But as you can see here, spot here, and right in through there. Nothing major, just really get you up here, right in this area, across here, and right in there. Really, really, really minor. Skim coat and sand, and that'll be all fixed. And then down here, I got on either side of the factory seam here, I've got a spot, so we'll blend that in. and take care of that. So that's where we're at. So I got all the high braille primer sanded down. I got the valance all taken care of back here, the roll pan. Yeah, I call it anything I want, apparently. The other thing I caught here that I hadn't shown you is this is the factory seam, and it was like a big bubble or lump right here. I just had to grind that down, and I'll hit that with some skim coated mud suit and just blend that in. But yeah, it was really obvious. And the trunk, all the rim of the trunk has been taken care of, and it is ready to go. Again, got the jams over here, all ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up, either some mud or some glazing putty. And I'm just going to clean these areas up and then sand them down. We'll take one more look at them. Anyway, that's where we're at. We're getting so close, guys. I'm just so excited to get the color on this and start moving along. Like I said, I've got lots of parts back here that are ready to go on. All my suspension parts are in, so I'm ready. All right, guys, let's bring you back in as soon as I get all this other stuff touched up, and I'll let you see what I got. Okay, let's bring you back in and show you what I got. So I just did some nice, really small skim coats where I needed them. So I fixed that area. I got up under here with some nice skim coats. I ended up using the areas I needed to cover were a little bit big. I felt like it was better to use the filler instead of the glaze, just because the areas were a little bit big. I'll go back, sand these, and if I have any small little pinholes or anything I need to hit, I'll use the glaze. Over here, again, it looks really bad, but it's not. It's just this area here, this area, and this area. Those are just sanded down to the filler. And then this area right here needed to be worked right there where that seam was. So that's pretty much all I had to do there. Those shouldn't take much to sand. Just gotta let them harden up. And let me real quick, I just want to show you guys what I've been using on all of this. George, thanks for reminding me on that, because I'm kind of bad about doing all that. So I'm using, where's it at? There it is. 220 grit on my sanding board for the initial sanding. So everything I do when I first start sanding, I'm using this 220 grit. This is an adhesive back, sticks right to the board. And I sand the entire thing with that. I looked up, what the recommendations were on sanding down the high build primer, and I saw, basically it is anywhere from 320 to the 400. And I started to try and use the 320, but let me tell you, it was going to take a long time. It just wasn't cutting through it, and it was loading up on the paper. So the paper was just getting clogged up, and it just wouldn't sand. And when I switched to the 220, it did a whole lot better. And the only thing I can tell you there is when you're using the 220, it's a little aggressive, and you can see, you got some light scratching going on in there, but that's okay. Just know that you need to kind of stop a little bit early. Don't keep going. Leave yourself a little bit of meat on there to sand it down with the 320, and then hit it with a 400 to work out all those sanding scratches. And that's worked out really well for me so far. When I did all the other panels, that's exactly what I did. I started with the 220 and then worked my way up to the 400. Body filler, I'm using right here. You can see the part number. It's the lightweight version. Spreads really well. I like it. Again, on the sanding part, It's just no different than anything else I've used. So, but it spreads really nice. I do like that. My short strand fiber, I just got me a thing of Bondo glass. That worked really well. I don't know if there's anything real special about that from one brand to the other, but it worked really well. I have same brand as this glazing putty. I just don't know where it's sitting right now. It's sitting somewhere, but wherever it's at, I'm using the glazing putty of same brand. I think it's out here on the. I think it's out here on the bench somewhere, because that's what I've been doing. Yeah, here it is, right here. So you can see what I'm using here for the glazing putty. Let me see if I can. There you go. And you can see the number there. Mixed reviews on this one. I mean, it works. It works fine. It takes a little while to set up for my taste. It can take quite a while to get this to set up where you can actually sand on it. I've gone back to it after a few hours and tried to sand on it, and I can sand initially, but then when I get down into it a little bit, it gets gummy, and I have to sit and I have to let it sit for several hours before I can actually use it. So I don't know if it's just maybe bad batch or if that's how it's supposed to be. So just know that going in, that you're going to put this on, that's fine. It's just, it's going to take you a little time. It's got to set up. Anyway, that's where it's at right now. I'm going to let this cure up, and then I'm going to get after that. Again, I'm going to use a 220 on that just to knock it out, get it knocked down. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to start running over this entire car again with 320. And then after that, just in the visible areas, I'm not going to be hitting this, everywhere. The floors and the engine bays, not going to be hit with 400, but all the visible panels and everything you're going to see, I'll hit those with a 400. 320 will be fine for all of these other areas. Other than that, I mean, that's where we're at. So let's let this cure up, and then we'll come back and get it taken care of. All right. All right, let's bring you in and show you what I got taken care of here. So, I got this here taken care of. She's sanded down out nice. Looks really good. Nice and smooth transitions. I got these areas down here, mainly right here and right here. And both of those came out really good. They feel nice and smooth. So all that came out good. And then we come around to this side and hit this area here. You can see I had to go with some glazing putty on top of that. It just was a couple of low spots, that gaps in the filler. So that was good. This area down here and up here came out really good. So that's good. So this is all coming together really nice. This area right here sanded out really good, and again, I just got a couple of small areas I put some glazing putty on. I'll get them sanded down, and then same thing up here. I just had a couple of small areas that just need to be touched up, and otherwise you can see here it came out really good. Everything looks really good. So I just had this little area here. This was mostly sand scratches. There's not even sanding scratches. They were like from the putty knife when I was putting this on. It was leaving streaks. This area here it's just a little low. I mean, I probably could have left it. You probably would have never noticed, but I felt like it'd be best if I just hit that with some glazing putty, and then I'll knock that down. All right, let's walk you across it real quick. 320 grits all done, sanded out nice. Had a little bit of rebellion up there at the top, but everywhere else sanded out really good. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. And then up here, think I told you guys when I was showing you what I use as far as mud and body filler rather, and glazing putty, and I told you I wasn't really all that thrilled with that glazing putty, that U-Paul glazing putty. It takes so long to really harden. I guess if you have to put it down a little bit thicker, I don't know, it doesn't want to harden very well. So I get to sanding on it, and then it gets goopy, and I get down a little ways, and then I'll hit not cured up material. Then I gotta stop, and I gotta wait some more. Yeah, I don't know. It could be I'm just putting it on a little too thick. Maybe I should have just used body filler. I don't know the answer to that one. I just know it frustrates me when I get going on it and I can't finish it up. But I got it. I just need to hit basically this area right in here where I did a little bit of 220 sanding. I need to hit that with some 320. And really after that, this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to hit this interior real quick, get it cleaned up again. I've been doing that over and over, but it just keeps getting dirty with everything I'm doing. But I'm going to hit this get it all cleaned up. I need to get the seam sealed down, and then I need to get it prepped so that I can get some. I'm going to hit this with a coat of primer and sealer primer. I'm going to get this all coated and sealed in here as well. And then I really got to, go the other way here real quick first. And then I got to get in here, do the same thing. I got to get some seam seal in here so that when I put the primer on, that sealer primer, I can hit this trunk. And then I got to get up. I got to get up in here, and I got to just start really getting in here and scrubbing up good and just getting it cleaned up. See if we can't get some color on this old girl. She's ready. I'll give you that. Looks good, don't it? She just looks good. Gonna look even better when it's all solid and painted. All right, guys. All right, here we go. So we're gonna jump into this area and see if we can't start getting all the little nooks and crannies and areas cleaned up. Make sure there's no issues I need to deal with and move on. And I have chosen my weapons. There is the arsenal that I will be using. So let the battle begin. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. It's just water. That's all I'm using. This whole thing's been degreased already when I had it outside, so I shouldn't need to do any degreaser. So just trying to get it clean. There's a lot of dirt and stuff that settled on it, so gotta get it up. Clean it up pretty easy. Get in here with a towel and I'll start drying it off. And then once I get an area clean, I'll go ahead and hit it with like mineral spirits or something like that, just to give it a final wipe down. I'll tell you what, there are so many nooks and crannies in these engine bays. I've never seen an engine bay quite like this. Just pieces of metal everywhere, just going like this. Oh yeah. All right. I gotta figure out how to get out of this thing. Dang it. Alright. So I have scrubbed and cleaned all of this up. Cleaned up nicely. I got a hose in here and I just hosed everything down. Whoops, sorry. Got everything cleaned up. Inside's all scrubbed down. Cleaned up. All the sanding dust is out of it now. I'm going to go ahead. I got the trunk cleaned out. So really I just need to get it dried off now and start wiping down everything. Let me get drying. This is my dryer of choice. All right, so been going around it and drying it off more everywhere, you know, more and more. Took some towels and wiped as much as I could. It's by no means dry, but it's really close. So got some fans blowing on it. We're just gonna let it sit. I'm gonna take me a little break. I gotta break away from this and go to the paint booth. I got to get it cleaned and ready for this to go in there because I am just about to do the final sanding on the exterior here with some 400 grit. All right, so I'm going to start hitting it with the final sanding at 400 grit. Let's see if we can't get this thing ready for some paint tomorrow. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to feel and look for anything I may have missed or anything that's just not right. This is kind of one of your last chances to find those things. We'll have one more chance as we get to where we're cleaning it. Once we start to clean it, that'll be our last chance to find whatever we may have missed. So, okay, I'm going to continue around the car and we'll get that done. We ready to start wiping it down and cleaning it and getting it ready for primer. All right, guys, so I just finished the final sanding at 400 grit. Scuffed all the door jambs and all those areas that are going to show. And got them all cleaned up. Everything looks really good. I haven't come across anything that bothers me at this point. But you know how that goes. I thought the same thing last time, and I ended up at least a couple more times going back and fixing some small things. So we'll see. But it looks good from what I can tell so far. Got it all hit. So, all right, so the next thing I got to do is I've got to get this cleared out. I got to get it cleaned, and then once I'm done with that, I'll come in and I'll get this fully cleaned. Okay, guys, so I've got the booth all cleared out, cleaned up, ready for the car, and you can see it. Look at that, nice and clean, huh? And then I am going to push the car out. I need to get it out get it back in, hanging out the shop. And I'm going to blow it off real good. Just one last kind of blow off, bring it back in. First thing in the morning, I'll wipe it down real good, get it ready for paint. Guess it's as easy as that, right? All right, well, let's start with hanging this thing out the back of the shop. All right, there we go. Let's get it blown off now. Here we go. All right, that's as far as I'm going to get tonight. There's a lot of dust in the air from cleaning, blowing, and all that. It's going to resettle on the car some, so it would make absolutely 0 sense for me to wipe the car down right now. So I will wait till everything settles down in here. Then I can go ahead and wipe the car down, get it over in the paint booth, and start painting. All right, see you in the morning. Okay, back out here. It's morning. It's cooler, so a little too cool yet to paint. So I was able to work on getting some of the seam seal in, and I'm getting ready to start wiping down the whole car and getting it ready for paint. So by the time I'm done with that, hopefully the temperatures are up enough where I can go ahead and start painting. Yeah, so I'm ready. I am so ready for today. I think we're going to get paint on it. Let me show you what I got. All right, you can see I got some new seam seal in. All the right places. Everything's re-sealed down. All the way over there. And you can see in the trunk, I have resealed all the areas that had come up and that I had scraped up. So there we go. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and get ready, start wiping this thing down so we're ready to paint as soon as the temperatures are right. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm up here on the roof. And I'm just going to, I guess, begin this process of cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. Just, it's good though when it's all wet and shiny, but look at that. Yep, so lots of grime still on it. We just got to get it all off. So, yep, we'll get it. I can feel it in there. But so far I don't see anything that makes me a little bit nervous about it. It looks good so far. All right, I'm going to set you guys down. Be a little bit easier for me to do this. But I just want to bring you in and show you, how much dirt can still be on these no matter how much cleaning, blowing off you do. There's lots of dirt, and that'll be like that probably another couple of times. All right, let me get it. All right, I'm going to wipe down this portion right here. I just want to show you what I do. So I'm using mineral spirits. You just want to use something that's going to fully evaporate and not leave any residue or anything like that behind. So, mineral spirits or those types of things are just fine. I like to take my towel and I fold it in fours like this. And then I'm just going to get me some mineral spirits on there. You don't need a lot. As you can see from the first wipe, that's quite a bit of dirt still on the panel. So all I'm going to do here, well, I won't fold it yet. I'm going to use the other side. So I'm going to go to the clean side. And I'm just going to hit it again and wipe it again. And the nice thing about this is when it's nice and wet like this, you can usually pick up. You stand back and you can look down it. You can usually pick up if you got any things that need to be worked on while it's wet. So once again, second time on it, you can see still has a lot of dirt on it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to fold it again. Now I have another clean section. This time I'm just going to wet my towel. And I can feel it getting cleaner. You know, the first time I hit it, you could feel the grit and the grime that had gotten on the panel. But as you can see, still plenty of dirt. So I'm going to hit the other side. And I'm going to do it again. And while it's wet, I am going to see what it looks like. And I like it. It looks good. I don't see anything. But look at that. That's 4 times now. And I'm still getting dirt. I mean, it's getting better, as you can see. You look from where we started to where we're at. And then I am just going to fold it the inside out. And now I'm going to do it again. And this is a little deceiving because you can see a little bit of the dirt from the other side, but you can see they're still getting some on there. But we're pretty close now, so pretty close now. There we go. That's feeling a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now. I'm going to press on all the way around the car. And then when I'm done with everything, I'm going to come back around and do one final wipe around the entire car. I'm going to let this go ahead and dry. But, man, I can tell you can just, it's got a great reflection, and I don't see any issues. It looks really, really good. So, but, you know, when I was doing the doors and the fenders, I thought the same thing. But I don't see anything. It looks good. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys a, little bit of how I do it. Everybody's going to do it their own way. You know, the ultimate result is it clean when you're done? That's what you're looking for. So that's how I do it. I'm going to go around the car, get it done. I'll bring you back when I got that done. All right, and one other thing I wanted to show you. This is the rags when I'm done with them. I just open them up and I lay them out here. You can see I got quite a few from all the previous paintings. But what I do with these, eventually they'll dry up. These things are expensive. And so what I do is I reuse these when I'm doing like greasy work or something like that. Like once I'm done with the paint, I'm going to start putting the suspension on. There's going to be grease involved. And, these make great grease rags after that. No sense in using a brand new one just to wipe some grease when these are going to be just fine. Just a little tip, Use it, don't use it, that's up to you. Anyway, let me get back to cleaning. All right, let's take a look. So I've given it its final wipe down. And one of the things that I like to do is I do one final wipe down with like a mineral spirits or paint prep of some sort. And then once I'm done with that final wipe down, I hit it with a dry towel, just a towel. And that seems to get the last little bit out of it. But as you can see, it looks nice and clean. And we are ready for paint. So now I just got to get this thing pushed into the paint booth. And it's a little dark on this side, so it's hard to see it, but I don't know what's going on there. I'll wipe that one more time. But all the jams are clean and look good. I got the engine bay wiped out, the cowl area, firewall. It's all been wiped and cleaned. It's not perfect because you can see the engineering nightmare that was created underneath here. It's like they all sat in a room, the engineers, and said, "Hey, I think we're done." And then that one guy stood up and said, "I think it needs to be a little stronger, I don't know, right here." And right there. Because there's like all of these parts on here, pieces of metal that just look like they were like added on because it's not strong enough, or it's, you know, whatever. Just a lot of gussets and different things that have been added onto this thing. It's a very strong car, I'll tell you that. These unibodies they built were something else. Anyway, let's get it over into the booth and let's start see if we can't get some paint on it. It's here, finally here. Let's do this. All right, let's get this. You can't see it, but it's right there. Into there. 2x2, hands of blue. You know what that means. All right, guys. I like it. I like it. All right, let's do this. All right, so I'm mixing up some paint, and we're going to be spraying 3 different paints today. The first one I'm going to spray, I'm mixing right now. That's my sealer primer, and I need to get that on there because the color that I'm using, the purple pearl. Purple royale, because I custom mixed it, requires a very even color base. Otherwise the color variation will be all over the place, and so we want to have a nice even color variation throughout the car. So we're using a black primer, which gives it a little bit deeper and a little bit darker look with the pearl. After this, then I've got to spray the top of the car, which is going to be the charcoal, metallic charcoal. I got some masking to do before I do that. Once I get this on, then once I get that masked, I'll spray that. Then I have to unmask, and then I'll have to mask again for the rest of the car. So it'll be a bit of a process, but then the last spray we'll do will be the color, the purple royale, with the pearl in it, and that will be the final spray. And then we'll get to, you know, pull masking off and all that kind of stuff. Well, the masking will come off because I've got to spray the clear coat. I guess 4 sprays because I got the clear coat. Forgot all about the clear coat. Very important. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. So let me get this mixed, and then you can meet me over there in the booth and we'll get after it. All right. Okay. One other thing I wanted to just bring back up again. It's been a while since I mentioned what products I've been using on this. But I use Auto Paint Headquarters paint. I've said this before in another video, but the customer service from these guys is great. So far, I've had absolutely no problem with the products. They spray on really nice. I'm not a really what I would consider a accomplished painter, and it comes out looking good. So I'm all on board with what these guys are offering and the quality that I've seen so far. So yep, I use their high build primer, their sealer, of course the paints, and the clear coat. And I used Eastwood's seam sealer, the brushable. That's what I use there. So just remind you guys, if you haven't seen that video, what products I used. All right, here goes the sealer coat. All right, let me get you guys a quick walk around on this before I start prepping for the first color, which will be the roof. It came out good. Looks good. The body lines, everything looks good. I don't see anything. I'll give it a much better look over here a bit later, but you can see I got all this under primer now. There you go. So that's a lot of awkward spraying inside there. All right, let me just walk along. Everything looks good. Just don't see any real issues. The body, everything looks nice and straight, flat. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get the top sprayed with the metallic charcoal, and then once that's dried up enough, I'll pull all the masking off and we'll reverse mask it. All right, let's do it. All right, let's get you in, take a look. There you go. Charcoal metallic. Came out good. I think that's going to look really nice with that deep dark purple. There you go. Looks good. Very happy with it. All right, you see I already got the masking pulled, and now I got to get the top side masked and get ready to spray the bottom. All right, here we go. Well, good morning. I know it's not supposed to be morning. I was supposed to finish this last night, but temperature started dropping. It was taking longer for the paint to, set up enough to where I can mask it. So I just went ahead and called it, cleaned up. So here we are in the morning. Still a little bit too cold in the shop to be able to paint. So I went ahead and reverse masked it. So I got that done. And I'm getting ready to just do a final wipe down, walk around, make sure there's no issues, and have it ready for paint as soon as the temperature gets up enough. Let me show you what I got. All right, so you can see there. Looks good. It's all masked off. Just needs a final wipe down, really. I clearly didn't do a good enough job masking the bottom side. I always underestimate overspray and where it can get. So, yeah, I just got to wipe everything down real good. I got some of that metal flake from the silver dusted around and come right off, though. Anyway, I'll have to do a better job of that in the future. All right, I'll bring you back in as soon as I am ready to paint. All right, here we go. Coat 1, purple. Let's do it. All right, guys, so there you go. I show you every time, but that's what you get off these things in between sprays. So make sure you're tacking it off and not leaving that on your work. All right, so I'm clean, ready for my second coat. Coat 2. Woo-hoo. Done. All right, guys. Done spraying with all the color. Got all my coats on there. Looks good. I'm going to do a final wipe down, and then I am ready for clear coat. Let me show you what it looks like. There you go. Looks pretty good. Let me go over this thing, tack it off real quick, and see if we can't get some clear coat on here. All right, let's do it. All done. All done. Well, I got to cut and buff yet, but otherwise, all done. Okay, all done. She's coated up really nice. I did a better job of keeping the trash out of it. I'm getting better at that. It's just I wet the floor down this time. I did a better job of cleaning. That seemed to help. Still got some trash in it. I mean, that's just, you watch these guys in them shows and they're in a beautiful booth that's, you know, completely shut off and they still get trash in theirs. Not as much as me though. So you ready? I got to show you guys. All right, here it is. All right. Here you go. Door jambs all done up nice. Just the parts you'll see. Oh yeah. That, I like it. Looks really, really good. Yeah, we'll get around here to show you the engine bay. Nothing fancy. I didn't come in here to make a super custom paint job. I came in here, I wanted this to look nice but be protected, and that's really what it is. I'll hit that firewall before I do any building on this, but looks good even under the engine bay. It's not terrible looking. It's, you know, it's hard to make this look pretty. You know what I mean? Anyway, same thing on this side. It's really nice. I did find a couple of runs, minor runs in it, but I got to cut and buff, so all that will come out. But yeah, I like it. It looks really good. Okay, I'm going to get cleaned up. All right, guys, so I know that these last, I don't know, 6, 7 videos they've been pretty rough, and I get that. But I appreciate you guys sticking with it, hanging with me, coming to watch and see, and the end result is what it's all about. Yeah, it takes some time to get there. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of, you know, and when you're working and doing a YouTube station, it's, you know, these channels are difficult when you do a long build like this, because if I wait and I only show you all of the body build at one time on one video, then I don't have a video for months. So it gets broke down. So you see some of the same things over and over. Some of you guys have been with me for a long time. That's great. You guys are sitting there and you're watching all of them. But, you know, the people who are coming that are new, they don't get to see all of these. You know, maybe they didn't see all the other ones. So they get to see part of it. Anyway, I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all those things. All right, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. All right.